Chio, welcome to Cherokee Now. Today we have Bonnie Claxton with us. Bonnie is the manager of the Tribal Legal Assistance Office. Bonnie, welcome to the show, and thank you for taking a moment to come on and tell everyone about the services that your office can help the public with.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the origin of the Tribal Legal Assistance Office. How did it get started?
So we've been open about a year, and I think before that the issue was that there are a lot of enrolled members that can't afford to hire an attorney, and we're having a hard time with certain legal issues in court.
Right.
So our office was created to help with those certain legal issues.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the services that you currently offer. I know that you're growing every week, and there's a lot more coming down the pipe, but tell me a little bit about some of the sample services that you do offer right now.
So we help folks with domestic violence protective orders.
Okay.
We represent parents who are in family safety court.
Okay.
We can represent parents or grandparents with child custody issues, and we also help with wills, powers of attorney, that kind of thing.
Well, let's start with the domestic violence part of it. Let's say someone is having trouble at home. Hopefully we reduce that over time, but let's say there is an issue pops up. What is kind of the cycle that folks go through to get to your services?
So the first thing they would want to do would be to call the walking stick shelter, and that's the emergency response. They've got workers down there that can help people with the immediate needs when somebody's going through a domestic violence issue. And then when they're asking for a protective order for the person to stay away from them, that's when we get involved. Walking stick lets us know about the case, and then we can represent the person in court.
Okay, and that's is there a charge to that?
No.
So that's a free of charge service. If someone's having trouble at home, hopefully that's not the case, but it should be. They go to the walking stick shelter, they seek the help they need there, and then they'll contact you. The walking stick shelter will contact you, and you'll help cover the issue with the folks and work it out through court.
That's exactly right.
Okay, for a protective order. What about family safety? What is the difference now between family safety and domestic violence? How do you sort that out?
So family safety is worried about the safety of kids.
Okay.
So if there's a child that's in danger, it used to be covered by DSS in the counties, and now the tribe has its own family safety program, and they help make sure that kids are safe. And where our office gets involved is that parents deserve and are legally required to have an attorney represent them if their kids have been taken by family safety or if family safety is involved with their kids in a legal way. Okay. And then we can represent the parents and try to make sure the family stays together if that's safe for the kid. Okay,
so in a real world situation, there's an issue at home with the kids. DSS or family safety support stepped in and they've maybe taken the kids. The parents then need to come to your office at that point and say, look, this is the issue, I need your help.
Yes, the court, when they go to their first court date, the court will appoint an attorney, and our office is appointed for one parent on almost all of those cases.
Okay, so you're already kind of there and represented at the court, and that'll get handed down. Well, great. That's free of charge? That's a service that you offer for parents?
That's right.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about, in that same realm then, child custody issues. Tell me about, in the real world situation, how do you play into the child custody side?
So if there's been parents that are separated, or if a non-parent is caring for a kid, they can call us and we can try to help get them legal papers that either say what's already happening with the child, or if there's an issue where one parent's not being allowed to see the child or something like that, then we can try to help with that.
Okay, and is there a fee associated with that?
We only represent enrolled members for those cases.
Okay.
And there is an income guideline, so just call us and we can do the intake, but there's no fee associated with it if we're able to represent you.
Okay, great. And then I read here about the peacemaking and mediation side of that. What's happening with that?
So right now in the Cherokee court, the only way to go through a full child custody case is to go to court and have a bunch of evidence be heard, which can be really uncomfortable. Those cases are really hard.
Right.
So we're working with the court to try to give people another option, and that's going to be either mediation or peacemaking, which is going to really allow people to make decisions that are best for their kids and try to take the parents' emotions and egos out of it, and get to an agreement without having to go through a court hearing.
Without dragging everything through court and getting all that out there. And that affects children too. So
absolutely,
mediation is the best if we can work things out, and that's a great program. Another thing that your services can offer that you can get people into without having to go through the court part. Okay. Is that about it on the child custody side? Do you have any other notes?
Yeah, my main thing for that is just call us if you have a question. There are a lot of people that aren't parents that are taking care of kids here. You know, a lot of grandparents and aunts and uncles. and just give us a call and let us know the situation. If we can't help you, we always try to find some other way for you to get some
kind of guidance there in some way. And your number, your direct line is 359-7400. So 7400 is a direct line to your office.
That's
is that
right?
And we'll repeat that throughout the episode here, because I think it's important that people write that down should they have a need. And it's in a lot of needs. If they have general inquiries, I'm sure they can reach out to you and you can get them in the right direction. Mm-hmm. So 359-7400. Well, let's get into wheels, because this was there's a lot of questions regarding your services in regards to wheels. I see it on TV regularly. Tell me about what your program does in services for wheels.
So our program, at no charge, offers wheels to enrolled members and their spouses.
Okay.
So we offer with that wills, advanced directives, and healthcare powers of attorney, which is if you're sick and you can't make those healthcare decisions for yourself, deciding who's going to make those decisions and what it's going to say, and also powers of attorney. So if for some reason you're not going to be able to sign a document and you trust somebody else to sign that for you, we can help with that as well.
You need a power. I really want to get down to the nuts and bolts of what a will is and the different kinds of them. And I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but I do want to give people an idea of why this is important. Why is it important to have a general will, and can you explain some of the different types?
Absolutely. So having a will is really important if you care about your family that's left behind after you pass away and who gets what. I mean, that's what a will does, is you've got property, you've got land and a vehicle, other assets, and you want to make sure that the people that you want to get those are the ones that actually get them after you pass.
And you don't need to get a will when you're 70 years old. You need to get a will as soon as you can get a will, as soon as you have assets, right?
Yes, you should get a will. The people who it's most important to get a will immediately would be people who have non-enrolled spouses or children that they want to leave land to those folks, because that's the only way right now that you can leave land to anybody that's not enrolled spouse or child is through a will.
Okay.
And it also just really keeps a lot of fighting from happening after the fact. If people know what you wanted, then it's a lot easier for them to do it, and the law backs that up when you do it in a certain way.
Okay.
And we can help you do it the right way. And the other thing I wanted to say is some people have wills that are old.
Okay.
And some of those are fine, but it's always a good idea to get an extra set of eyes on it. And again, there's no charge for us to do that. And we can look at it, see if you want to update anything. We can make sure you've got it on file. It's free to file wills at the courthouse.
Okay.
So when you get your original will done, we ask you to go to the courthouse right away, and it's free to put it on file there. And then there's no question as to where the will is. If they can't find it, if there's one that's not signed, they've got the official one on file at the courthouse.
So I don't have a will. I'll just be honest. I don't have a will. Walk me. What do? I call you. I don't even have a template. I don't know what it looks like.
Sure.
Do you help me from the ground up build that?
So you can call us at 359-7400
All right.
and get an appointment made to come in and sit down with an attorney and talk about what you want your will to look like.
Okay.
If you have email or if you want us to text you, we can also give you a wills worksheet where you can really sit down at home and think about what you want to put in your will before you actually come in and talk to us. But we can also walk you through that from the beginning, and it's just one page front and back. So you answer those questions for us. We type it up into an official document. We sign it, get the witnesses and the notary. You can either do it in one long appointment or you can do it in two shorter appointments.
Okay, so it's not terribly
it's easy. You should come in.
I need to do it. I will do it now that I've mentioned it. Powers of attorney. What is a power of attorney? Get it on down to the detail here.
So a power of attorney allows you to give someone else the ability to sign your name for you. And it's a lot of power. I mean, it could, if it's somebody that you don't trust, you might worry about them signing all your money out to themselves and going to Mexico or something.
Okay.
So you want to make sure it's somebody you trust. You don't need a power of attorney, but where it's really helpful is if you're going to be unavailable, or if you are getting older and you're worried that you might not be able to sign things either physically or mentally, might not be able to sign documents.
Gotcha.
It's nice to have a power of attorney that you trust.
Is it typically a family member or close relative or friend?
It usually is a family member, but we do have a lot of close friends and relatives that that people want to be their power of attorney. The question that we have the most often is if folks are going to jail and they want to sign their power of attorney to somebody else so that they can handle all their affairs while they're in jail.
Right.
It's really important that our office is legally required to talk to the person who's going to be signing the power of attorney.
Can't
so
just
if
throw
you
a name
came
out
in
there.
and told me, my friend wants me to have his power of attorney,
Gotcha.
we're not going to draft that up because we need to talk to the friend to make sure that he really trusts you.
So both parties need to be involved in this process.
And really, it could just be the person signing it.
Okay.
You wouldn't have to be there, but your friend would have to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. What other types of wills are there, or other types of assistance? Is advanced directives?
So advanced directives and healthcare powers of attorney are two documents that again, you want to do those before you think you're going to need them, but it's really to help if you get into a situation where you're in the hospital and you can't make decisions for yourself. If you're the kind of classic example is if you're in a coma. And who do you want to be making decisions for you? I know this stuff is really morbid to talk about.
But it's important because this is the kind of emergency that'll happen, and we need to make sure that folks have the right tools to make it through it.
And it really is for your family members because you don't want them second guessing or fighting among themselves about what you want. You want them to know what you want.
Right.
And so advanced directives is a document that says, if you're going to be keeping me alive by artificial means indefinitely, I don't want that.
So that's what that is. I've always wondered, where do you do that at?
Yeah, so that's the advanced directive. And then the healthcare power of attorney is where you appoint a person that you want to be the final say-so on what happens if you're in that situation.
And I want to clarify, all these services you guys do free of charge for enrolled members and their spouses.
Yes.
Okay. Well, wow. Is there anything else you want to add to that? Community education. We wanted to talk a little bit about your community outreach and education. Tell me a little bit about what you guys are doing in the communities.
So we have been going to some of the community clubs and other events, and we were out at the fair last week. If you have a community club or an event that's coming up, or a church group, or somebody that says, we really want more information about wills, or we want more information about the Indian Child Welfare Act, or any legal issue, even if it's something that we didn't talk about today that we actually represent people with, we're happy to come out. We can I'll come or send one of the other attorneys to come talk to the group about any issue that you want in general. We can't necessarily always give specific advice at those events, but we can give a lot of information and bring brochures and that kind of thing.
Excellent. So you guys are trying to get the message out there that this is what we're doing. Here's our services, and these are very useful things. I'll be by to see you for sure.
Good.
And I challenge everybody that's listening to the show, if you don't have a will, get out and see Bonnie and her crew, and get you a will started. It sounds like it's pretty easy to do. It saves a lot of headache in the long run should something happen.
And if somebody's in the hospital or homebound, can't get out, call us anyway. We can come out and do a will at your house.
Oh, wow. That's excellent.
We might not do that for you, Chris, but
because
we know you can come to the office.
Because these legs work right now. It's been a tiring week, but I'll try to get over to your office soon and get that done. Are there any other matters?
One other thing I wanted to point out was the self-help kiosk.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a legal issue coming up, we have a self-help kiosk that's in the Qualla Library, the public library, in the Ginger Lynn Welch building, and we've got a computer there with forms, and there's a lot that you can find at that self-help kiosk.
Okay.
So come to us, and if we can't help you, we might refer you to that place. But there's all kinds of forms so that you can help yourself in court too, because that's one of our goals, is just increasing access to justice all over the place.
Well, excellent. So 359-7400 is the number to Bonnie and her staff there at the Tribal Legal Assistance Office. Please reach out to them. I appreciate you coming on today, Bonnie. I know we've been trying to get with you for a while and to get this information out, but this is some really good information, and it's going to help a lot of folks, I believe, get some legal assistance on their personal matters. But
thank you for having me.
That'll be it for today. If you're listening at home and would like to comment on the show or ask questions regarding what we've discussed today, please comment on our EBCI Cherokee Now Facebook page at facebook.com/Cherokee Now, and we'll see you again soon. Dana Duggan,